But, folks, you know the story. I mean, you're out there. I mean, you've got a guy like Joe Biden who's got the gall to come in and claim during a speech that gas prices are $5 a gallon when he took office. I mean, it just, you can't believe the guy. And I'll see if I can get to this part of the clip here of doing this kind of like live. So we're going to fast forward to the end of his little 1-minute clip because I don't want to spend the whole minute listening to him. We'll see if I can pull this off here.
Pandemic when I took office. Today, with the help of the people behind me, we're in,
by the way, there's nobody behind him.
10 million jobs created since we took office. A record for any administration in American history. You
got to love this guy.
Unemployment is at 3.5%, the lowest it's been in 50 years. 5.4 million Americans applied to start small businesses, the highest level ever in American history. And because of the action we've taken, gas prices are declining. We're down $1.25 since the peak at this summer, and they've been falling for the last 3 weeks as well. And adding up real savings for families. Today, the most common price of gas in America is $3.39, down from over $5 when I took office. We need to keep making that progress by having energy companies bring down the...
Yeah, down from over $5 when he took office, right? Except for the fact that the last day of the Trump administration, gas prices were $2.39 a gallon. Okay, now they're fluctuating somewhere around $3.40, $3.50. Here in Florida, luckily, we've had our sales tax holiday, which ends today. If you didn't fill up, go fill up your gas today because starting tomorrow, you will see gas prices jump across the state of Florida by 25 cents as the gas taxes are reinstituted in the state of Florida. But you've got a guy who's in charge here who's so out to lunch, he doesn't even know what's going on. He just and do you think the media checks him on any of this? Do you ever hear any stories? I mean, can you imagine if Trump was making misstatements like this? Trump is a liar. He's been lying since the day he was born. Well, but Biden says it was over $5 a gallon, and it wasn't. It was less than half that.
That's what I was going to say is, are there any MSM sites that are doing their fact checking on those facts that he's citing in his speech?
Would you call that one pants on fire? Or just, look, he made a mistake. Would you just let it go? He made a mistake. The inflation rate's 8.3%. When Trump left, it was 1.4%. Mortgage rates when Trump left, 2.65%. Now they're over 7%. Your average rent is up about a third across the country. Some places it's more, like here in Tampa, it's more. And anybody who's tried to rent anything in terms of a home to live in, you know about that. It's way more. And you can see on the charts, I mean, literally, the second Biden took office, these things, these increases in prices, this inflation took off. And why now? Because there was a whole lot of money printed all along the way. So why now, under Biden, do we finally get inflation? And I know this is stumping a lot of the Fed policy folks who are just saying, God, I don't understand. We've been printing all this money for decades and nothing's happened. And we thought we could just keep doing it forever. In fact, we created a whole new monetary theory called modern monetary theory. And we just said, hey, the old rules don't apply anymore. We don't really know why. It's just like magic. The fundamentals don't apply. We just print, and it's going to be fine. And they really started to believe that. I think they actually started to believe that because that's why they're so mystified now as to why is there inflation. And that's why initially when it came out, they said, oh, this is just transitory. This is like a blip on the radar. You're not going to see this again. This is going to go away. But why is it sticky? Why are we still having inflation? It's not just the money printing this time, and that's the source of it. That is the source of all inflation. But, what is the spark that really started this forest fire? Because they were printing all that money. There's a bunch of dead wood on the forest floor. Now, what was the bonfire that set it all off? And that was the effort to destroy the fossil fuels industry that started the day Biden came into office, canceling the Keystone Pipeline. And he's been anti-fossil fuels industry and done everything he can to make it harder and more expensive to bring hydrocarbons to the market here in the U.S. And you're seeing that in prices. And guess who else is seeing that? Everybody that produces anything is seeing that because shipping costs are up. All transportation relies on energy, and all those costs are up across the board. They were trying to make gasoline equivalent to electric for vehicles. That's their goal because they want to switch everybody to electric vehicles, which is just crazy. But that's what they want to do. That's the Green New Deal. And they think you're going to save the planet if they do that. So it's worth anything to save the planet, even though this hysteria has been going on for, 70 years And we've done the shows on that. You can look at the media. Climate hysteria has been going on for 70 years. The world's going to end in 10 years. That was said back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. It's always been said. It was said, remember, in the late 90s, Al Gore. Or maybe it was the early 2000s. Al Gore, 10 years. You got 10 years. Well, here we are 20-something years later. How are we here? Ocasio-Cortez, 10 years. She said that a few years ago. That's what they just keep repeating the same story, and folks keep falling for it. The sky is falling. Chicken Little's running around, and the sky is falling. So they're trying to get people away from gasoline, trying to get people away from cars. They say, we're going to make gasoline more expensive, and that has kicked off a huge uptick in the transportation costs for all the goods and services that you want to consume, including the food, which, by the way, is no longer grown anywhere near you. You know, your food's coming from Mexico or Peru or other places, California. It's moving all across the country in these distribution networks, and you're seeing it in the prices. People keep talking about the Consumer Price Index, and you look at September CPI, and year over year, September, for the 12 months ended in September, you had an increase in overall in food prices, an average increase of 11.2%. That's 10% in a year, more than 10%. For food at home, it was 13%. Restaurants were a little bit lower because, frankly, the restaurants are eating, the increases that they're paying. They're just eating it to try and keep their customer base. So they're just making less profit. Energy prices year over year, on average, up almost 20% year over year. This is unsustainable. And you know this, folks. You're out there. You're trying to find ways to make ends meet on your income. And here's the thing. It isn't about to stop now, because you've got the Producer Price Index, which just came out at the end of last month as well. And the Producer Price Index is showing things like fresh and dry vegetables in 1 month, in the month of September, up 15.7%. Grains, 1 month, 10.7%. Eggs, anybody that buys eggs has seen this, up 16.7%. The Producer Price Index is what the producers pay for the goods and services. You will soon see that in the Consumer Price Index. It is the leading edge. That is coming soon to the prices that you pay. Eggs up 16% in a month. How soon is it going to be that eggs are $1 a piece? The 12 eggs is $12. A gallon of milk's already $5-6. When's it going to hit $10? How long can we afford this, folks? We got a little more on that when we come back.
Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.